Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you join us from in the world. Welcome to Open Up, our live talk show. I'm RJ Horner, and I'm the host of Open Up. I'm also the vice president at Voice of Men 360. So thank you on behalf of myself and the Voice of Men 360 team. Voice of Men 360 is a not for profit organization founded in 2020 based in Toronto, Canada. Voice of Men 360 was born out of seeing a tremendous need and helping to step up and provide services to help support our men and boys overcome their life challenges. We're part of International Men's Day. International Men's Day has been serving for over 21 years so far and is now represented in 90 countries around the world, joining together to do various activities. International Men's Day follows six pillars which represent the overall well being of boys and men. And we follow in those same footsteps here. So, why is Open Up so important? Because we men are not open with our matters. We don't share our heart or our thoughts with people. And when we keep these within ourselves, it creates emotional or physical challenges that creates ill health conditions. And we want to help avoid that. That's why we create an open space and allow individuals to share their life journey through our platform. We aim to create awareness about the life challenges and the struggles that our men and boys have to go through in their lives. There are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. With sharing your life journey, all walks of life are invited to participate. Our goal is to make a positive impact on someone's life through this program. Open Up is on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We bring individuals to each show and let them share their life experiences with you. We'd like to remind you at this time that Voice of Men 360's mission is always delivered with good faith towards peaceful harmony. The views and opinions expressed in today's episode are those of our speakers and do not represent Voice of Men 360. Our organization engages in discussion forums to offer inspiration and create awareness to the issues of men who wish to overcome their life challenges. We're not providing medical or therapeutic advice. Should you require that type of assistance, please seek a medical professional immediately. If you have any questions or concerns about today's episode or any Voice of Men 360 content, please email us info@voiceofmen360. Today, I'd like you to introduce you to Hunyah Irfan. She's a blogger and a YouTuber of Hunyah Travels. Hunyah has been in Canada for 21 years since the age of 7. She began Hunyah Travels in 2019 when after graduation, college graduation, and an accident that left her finding work, which had become a challenge. Hunyah Travels YouTube channel started in 2020 with content on different topics, including Hunyah Travels' new segment, The Hunyah Show, where she supports artists and businesses. As of 2021, Hunyah Travels been a sponsor for Malton Women's Council, International Women's Day, and hopes to support different businesses. Please welcome Hunyah Irfan to Open Up. Thank you for joining us and being willing to share your life journey with us on this Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. For me to be on Open Up Live with Voice of 360 Men. I know you're taking, Voice of 360 Men is doing a lot of great initiatives and are doing a lot of great things in the community. So I just like to congratulate you on that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We are doing some great work and creating awareness. That's really what we do here. We have conversations with people like yourself, men and women who are part of creating this better life for society. So thank you for joining us and being willing to open up today.
Thank you.
So take us back. Let's get to know maybe this 7-year-old girl coming to Canada. What was that like for you?
Well, it was challenging because at the time I was a kid. I didn't know much English. I was in ESL class for quite a long time. And the thing is, it was hard to make friends because it's like there wasn't too much in there. It's like the my first teacher that I had, she wasn't actually the best teacher that I actually had in Canada. And due to the point is that I'm a very creative person, so it's like my ideas at that time, the teacher I had, she didn't like it. So that's how I was. And then later on, the other teachers I had, I think it matters the influences of how you of who you are with in school, so that comes in a big way that when you come into Canada. So the thing is, luckily I had like teachers that were better in my other grades, but in the first year it's like I didn't know anything in there. So like I don't like I think it was March, and then the end of the year was like it was like 4 months or 5 months till June. So that's how it was. So
So it sounds like you were struggling, not necessarily alone, but didn't have the ideal upbringing that a child would enjoy at that time.
yeah, because and on top of that, like it was like we had to find somewhere to live. And I've been in Malton pretty much for most of my life. Just in 2017 we moved to Brampton, so now I've been in Brampton for 4 years now. And now I'm currently one of the City of Brampton pageants contestants for 2022. So that's one of the things I've been doing as well. So it's like I had like a lot of struggles throughout my life. So one of them was actually when being an immigrant, and being an immigrant is not easy. And at the time, there wasn't too many resources as compared to how many resources there are for immigrants now. So that
For
was
sure,
something.
yes, absolutely. I understand that. I come from a school that had a multicultural, background. They had ESL, a strong ESL program, but again, I do know that the children did have um, complications learning, like you said, you had that, but also trouble fitting in with their fellow students. You said you had that going on, but did you have friendships? What were they like at that time?
Well, actually, the first friend I actually did have was when I was 9. Before that, I don't think so. I had a friend before that. It's like I would be with kids, like I would be with other girls, but the thing is, like they wouldn't really like talk to me. And then I've been an outcast in a way in some of my childhood, but my teenage years, I was actually a part of different associations, and then I did that in college as well. So that's how I grew. That's how I grew out of that. Like that's how I got
You
to know
know,
people and I got involved.
do you have any idea, or do you know maybe what brought you out of that shell? How were you able to go from being this shy little girl to a vibrant, active teenager?
I think that was grade 8, because I had changed schools. The I was actually in 2 middle schools, and I was actually in 3 high schools. So it's kind of a long story. Like we moved a lot around in our Ontario. Like we used to live in Malton for a while, then we moved to Toronto for 5 months. That's when I was a teenager. Then we moved back. Then I was in a Catholic school. So there was a lot of moving in there. So I think what got me to actually be who I am now is all those is like it depends on the school you're at, and it depends on the atmosphere, because it's like it depends on, like, when teachers are willing to work with you and the students. Like you're in an atmosphere where people actually like to where actually people encourage you to grow. In other schools, I've noticed from my experience, if the school has a bad reputation, and let's say the teachers are also like that, then you feel like you cannot have personal growth in there. So that is my
Mhm.
opinion.
Absolutely. Listen, I understand what it's like. Again, I come from a school that had that type of environment. And again, you know what? I would like to think I'm better than that. But again, I was a child like anybody else. And I got caught in the peer pressure of, you know what? There was a lot of people who would make fun of the ESL students, or, not allow them to truly enjoy themselves, right? Keep them down. And I wasn't one of those students, but I would get caught up in the peer pressure and have to laugh and have to make fun in a little ways in order to fit in myself amongst my friends and my. So
I
these things are
understand.
yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
but
please.
I've been in a similar situation where people had made fun of me. And with me, sometimes it was like not only that, but it's like even with my cousins at the time, they would make fun of me all the time too. So it's like it was hard to pick like, where to be. But although it'd be at the end of the day, it'd be just me and my siblings, but still it's like when I would go with other people, it's like I felt like they would always count me out. And I,
Mhm.
I still deal with that even now, but it's different.
So I want to just touch on, because you did say, look, the difference was you were in a discouraged or discouraging environment when you first arrived in Canada, right? You had a lot of
Yes.
negative principles acting against you. But then you grew up and found an environment that was more welcoming, more accepting, more nurturing to the person you were to become. And then you were allowed to excel and come out of that shell and
Yes.
become a completely different person. So I want people to realize that simple aspect that helped change your life completely.
I agree.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Um, so now let's talk a little bit about your family life coming to Canada. What was your parental influences like? What was, your parents maybe struggling with that you witnessed?
I think it was like a cultural shock at the time, because like when you've been in Canada for like 3-4 months, it's like you have to get to know everything, and then there's a whole thing with citizenship, and then getting your driver's license, getting like the whole procedure of getting into the Canadian work culture. That's also something that was the thing at the time. So it's like there were these factors. Like I don't know much about it myself,
Right.
but I do have an idea. 'Cause I've heard stories of like of parents, of immigrant parents, of when they come and the struggles that they deal with. But at the time, for myself, I was like a kid, so the only thing I knew what was going on was about the school.
Yeah.
So
All you knew was we were moving and we didn't know why, and it wasn't good with you.
like I have like relatives in Canada and US and other parts of the world, but it's like at the time when I was a kid, we only had like one of my cousins who used to live near us, so we would always go to their house. But it's like still at the time they were trying to help us, and then we were trying to figure out how to live here, and now it's been like about 22 years now, so
Hmm.
it's a long way.
Hmm. And I think that represents itself in you saying you had to move several times and I think that's just you and your family trying to fit in, trying to find your place within this Canadian culture that we have built that you now have to um,
Yes.
fit into.
Yeah.
So thank you again. I we want to get these topics out. So maybe get a little bit deeper if you could. What was your relationship like with your parents, especially your father? That's one we value here. We would love to hear about your father's
With
relationship
my
with you.
dad, like it's been kind of like up and down, but as I got older, it's like for my YouTube channel, both of my parents support me in there, and they know like every time I'm doing something, like when I started the Hunyah show, they support that. They always share what I do. So I had ups and downs, but as I got older, that got better. Like we go for vacations, we like since I have my blog, my dad encourages me that whenever we go out somewhere to do a few clips and to play videos of where I go. So it's like that.
Very nice, very nice. And so that's the influence now. But tell me, as a young girl, when you were, as a young lady, you're developing, you're trying to become a young adult. What was the relationship like then? What kind of influences did you have from your parents?
The influences I had was it was I think like it was uh to uh to go out there, socialize, as well as like make some kind of a plan with cousins, hang out with them, and also on top of that, like try to get involved. And like I didn't I did have restrictions at the time when I was a kid, but the restrictions only were like I think until like I think I was a teenager, or I think like once I was in high school, then I didn't have that many restrictions. The only thing is like we actually moved back home for a year, so I actually had like a gap year, and then I began university. So that's how it was. So I had like a lot of different influences and stuff. And since I was 11, we go to New York. We go to Montreal almost each summer. Although I haven't been in Montreal for the last 4 years, but I've been to New York pretty much even like last time I went was in 2018. So we usually like to travel. So most of my learning was through traveling, and most of my exposure was through how much we moved. Although every time it was hard to adjust and it was hard to get to know people, but wherever I go, I had made at least one or two friends. So that's how it was.
So there is definitely the influence of where your travel bug, they call it, comes from. Um, you certainly have experience with the airplane, the packing, the going away. So you're probably in a great position to well advise people on that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Um, so tell us, where did that begin? Where did you decide that, you know what, this is an area I want to explore and be able to help people with?
Well, I figured out actually my story began of 100 travels was uh when I graduated from college in 2013, I had an accident that year. And after that, the only problem was that I recovered by the 2014, but I couldn't get any job because I was unable to do my licensing at the time for paralegal studies. Then I figured out I was still volunteering at that time because I've been volunteering since high school till now. So it's been about 10 years or more. So the thing is, I continued my volunteer work, and then I had applied to at least a billion retail jobs because I just wanted a job somewhere. I just wanted to get a little bit income. So no place was accepting me because my skills were not upgraded and everything. So I had taken a few employment programs, and then I figured out, no, I think I know what I could do. I have the skills, I have the expertise. I think I can do a blog and YouTube channel. So 2019, I had actually, it was a year before COVID. I had actually went to, we actually do travel a lot, and over, like, since I was a child till now, we always go to different countries, different cities and stuff. So the thing is, we had went to Dubai, that's the Middle East, in March 2020, and that was no, in, I think it was March 2019, and then in July 2019 we went to Italy. And then I got this idea, I know a lot about traveling, I can advise people in there. And then that's how I began Hunyah Travels. That time it was just about recipes and where I've been to, and then slowly I developed my content around book reviews, around different things, around talk show that recently came, that's a Hunyah show in there. And then I started doing Facebook live videos, but it was only on my Facebook account, which is a private account.
Mhm.
And then later on, I got this idea that why don't I do a YouTube channel, because maybe I need more exposure and maybe I can advise more people than not just through my own personal Facebook account. So I started a YouTube channel with the advice from one of my family friends and also a longtime member of MWC. So so she had helped me in there, and then now I have Hunyah Travels YouTube channel, and now Hunyah Travels is available on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook page, pretty much everywhere.
Mm. Wonderful. That's amazing. It really is. People who take the initiative and are able to create something like this and turn it into what is to be the vision of their future, the job or the career that they would love to be in. Few people take that step. What would you advise to people trying to take that step, or maybe even considered or have not considered it?
I would say go for something that you never tried. With me, it's like I don't know how I even became a blogger and YouTuber. Also, although shared with you my story, but the thing is now it's like I feel like people approach to me before. It's like I did have the expertise and stuff, but it's like no one really knew me because of my hard work and because of my hours in content creation and my ideas and all these things. Like more and more people know who is Hunyah Travels, and then I like to support businesses, I like to support artists, and I like to help people who are just like me in different ways. And I like to encourage them to actually do something and to get out of the comfort zone and try something new, because that's how I began.
Absolutely. That's the hardest thing to get over, is to get out of our comfort zone. Like we like our life the way it is. We don't like to mess with what we have. But we want these great things, but we just don't want to go out there and try to achieve them. So thank you for that bit of advice.
Thank you.
Then you have this experience with travel. But I'm sure it's been curbed with the COVID restrictions that we're under. But
Yes.
you must have in your travels experienced many different cultures, many different aspects of living. Um, Maybe tell us some of the experiences you've had or noticed between people, cultures.
Well, I would say first of all that if you go to US, each state is very different, because I've been to Florida, I've been to New York, I've been to Chicago. And the thing is, like, each state has its own culture in there. Like if you go to New York, like it's like the street food is the most famous thing in New York in there. So what we enjoyed mostly was the local things in there. And yes, there were attractions in there, but it's like when you go to Times Square, it's like you feel everything is right there.
Mm.
And then when it came to Florida, it's like the reason why Orlando is famous is because of its theme parks. So the thing is, over there, the thing which I noticed is most people are attracted to theme parks, and there's like about more than 100 cars just parked over there just to get to the theme parks in there. Although we went to Universal Studios in Orlando, and in there, my and the most interesting experience I had was in there was when we had gone to the Florida Mall, and we had seen how the malls were and how the people were. Um, so that was one of the things that was in there. And then for when we went to Middle East, like what I enjoyed in there was it was like it was like amazing. It's like the kind of weather that you want to be. It's like it's warm there in March, and it's like people are out. And then the interesting thing about the culture is that like Middle Eastern cuisine itself, they have their own kind of like speciality in there. As the only interesting thing, the one interesting thing and the best thing I loved about Chicago was their deep dish pizza. So I mostly experienced the culture through their foods when I went there, and most of my learning was actually to go out there and walk around and like go to like the Chicago Bean, see that, and then in Middle East like got I got to go around the Bay Mall, and then in Italy it was when we took a train from Rome to Florence. That was an interesting experience because I got to commute there in a train, and that's not like the same thing as subway. So that was a really enriching experience for me.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Again, there's so much out there and so much to experience. Different cultures, different ways people behave, different ways to interact with people. Um, I really think you've got a great thing here in teaching people how to travel and what to experience when they travel. So thank you
True.
for
And
doing that.
always like, go out and be with the locals and like go to where the locals are. There's a whole lot of culture in there that you'll just learn. Like even in Italy, like when we went to this town called Tesfir, and in there it's like they had like this whole marketplace, this night marketplace. And over there, like there were like tons of artists over there, and there was like gelato on one side, and then there was different kind of restaurants, and it was very lively over there. All it was took us like a few uh, it took us like a few rounds just to get there because it was one streetcar we had to take and one subway we had to take from the Roma Termini. That was the Rome station, the Rome terminal, their main terminal, to go to Tesfir. So that's how it was.
Wonderful. Oh my God. Thank you for your experience in your travels. Um, because again, there's so much to gain through at least interacting with people when you get out
Yes.
there and travel to other people. So thank you for
Yeah.
that. So you've talked about well, you've told us about your influence with Malton Women's Council, but I mean, maybe talk to a bit. Do you have any other male influences in your life? Again, we are about the men's work. So do you have any other male influences who have helped you guide you?
I would say the only male influence would be my brother. Like he we have 5 years difference, but the thing is when I see him doing all of these things, like he has his own business, and then he's like traveling and like like although we travel as a family, but it's like when I see him doing more things, I get more encouraged. So
Mhm.
that would be my brother. So he's younger than me, like he's 24, and well, like with me I'm the oldest, but he's in the middle. So that's my male influence because I get encouraged, and we often he's like the one person I can go to and talk to anytime, and we usually like to advise each other, so we're like that.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what we're referring to. We need other people in our lives, right? Um, we need elder influences who are going to give us the advice and the guidance that we need to manage life, but we also need those outside influences that we can look up to or aspire to, regardless of whether it's a younger sibling. He sounds like he's leading a life that you want to live up to.
Yeah, and like with my brother, he actually like he does YYZ prep. You can find that on Google. It's available there, and that is his business, and it's a prep center. And with me, I do Hunyah Travels, and my sister, she also kind of does a business too. So we're all like entrepreneurs in a way. So we often our discussions are often around these kind of things, like
What's your sister's business, if you mind my asking?
she actually right now she actually is working with my brother, but she also does a similar kind of thing with shipments, with logistics. She does like that. She's still in development. She's still developing in there because she's also a first year university student right now in
Yeah.
UTM, University of Mississauga, University of Toronto, Mississauga. So that's what she does.
Mhm.
And then with me, it's Hunyah Travels, and then that's like, and then my with my brother, it's like YYZ Prep. So that's how we that's usually our discussion.
So it sounds like there's a lot of synergy there in what the three of you do. So I could see you guys working together somewhere in the future, operating your own businesses and making a fortune because you guys have similar businesses that could operate together. What a brilliant
Yeah,
setup you guys are doing because you guys are just exploring your talents. It seems like
yeah, and that's why like most of our conversations is often around there, and we always support each other.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So then we're going to start to wind down the show, and there's several questions I like to get to. The first one being, what can our, in your opinion, anyways, what can our young men and boys do to empower their lives?
I would say that like to empower their lives would be is get involved in the community, get to know the community. That's how I've been. That was actually before I'm a YouTuber, and now I'm still with the community. So always get in there and always support local businesses and people you know, because these are the people who are going to refer you to more clients, more customers. And make sure whatever business you do, it supports someone in there. Like for me, for example, whenever I do a review at a restaurant, I always hashtag the restaurant on my Instagram, and I always get a thank you from there because they need reviews, and I need and I want the review too. So it's kind of reciprocal at the same time. So that's how it works. And on top of that is like, do something that gives back to the community, because even as right now, besides Hunyah Travel, even as City of Brampton pageant contestant for 2022, our goal is to give back to the community, is to
Mhm,
be there for the community. So that is something I'd like to say.
mhm. So you talked about that. Let's talk a little bit about that more, because again, you're a contestant in a contest, and it requires that you do some philanthropy. Talk
Yes.
about that a little bit.
So we all have our causes. There's several different divisions, but we're all like a pageant family. And like the thing is, it's not just about tiaras. At the end of the day, it's about what you do to help others,
Mhm,
because City of Brampton is diverse, and there's so much out there. As a contestant, we support all of these businesses, causes, initiatives throughout, and we want to be there because in order to make it to grow as a city of Brampton, and then we need people like this. And as a contestant, it's like it is our duty to be there to support one another, as well as to support the different businesses, the different events, the different organizations as much as we can. And it's
mhm,
to help, and it's to mix. And if someone has a smile at the end of the day from any of our things that we do as City of Brampton contestants, then we did something right.
mhm. And I think that's showing the beauty on the inside type thing. You know what I mean? We're beautiful people by the things we do and how we affect other people.
Yes.
Thank you for that. That's wonderful. So then, what can we as a society do to help empower our young people?
I would say get involved as well. It's the influences at home that matter, because like be with people who encourage you, and then you'll see yourself uplifting, and you'll see yourself growing. That's what it matters.
Mhm. So then, should we should support them and provide an environment for them? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So then, um, again, we've had a great discussion, but is there anything else you would like to leave us with to inform us of before you part today?
Yes, I would like to say a few words that definitely, um if you feel like you have expertise on something, go for it. Don't just wait there, because you never know like what can happen and where can you go from there. On top of that, be sure to if you're interested in the City of Brampton pageants, be sure to register now. The registration is until February, and be sure to take part if you're really into doing something for the community, if you can give back to the community as well. Be sure to please share and subscribe Hanya Travels, and hopefully follow Hunyah Travels on all social media platforms. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that pageant again was,
City of Brampton pageants.
and so please look that up, not just for being a contestant, but find out what more it's all about. It really is about supporting communities and supporting the growth of women in our society.
Yes, that is our goal.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was Hunya Irfan. Thank you for so much for joining us and being willing to share your life journey with us.
Thank you.
As many Canadians know, our Indigenous people are in need of our support. And we at Voice of Men 360 have stepped up to help provide for that need by creating the donation drive for Indigenous families. If you have any used items to donate, clothes items, dry food goods, or any other donatable goods, please contact us. We're working to coordinate to collect those items. You can call us through 416 356 7414 or our phone number 437-889-8329. Email us info@voiceofmen360.org or reach out to us through Facebook Messenger. We'll work to coordinate those items. We have several live shows here on Open Up. The first, which you just participated in, is Sunday mornings, called Open Up. That takes place 10 a.m. Sundays Eastern Time, where we share the life journey of people out there to help empower others like you. Then we have Vili, which is a Tamil live talk show, Tamil language. Vili means I, and that takes place Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, people sharing their personal life journey in the Tamil language. So please join us for that. We also host a monthly webinar the first Saturday of every month at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We bring out the expertise of different organizations to discuss a particular topic of interest to them and to you out there. We host a special show every month called The Unspoken Tears. We call this a special show because the topic is domestic violence against men, bullying, male sexual abuse, traumas, and human trafficking. Those things do exist, and we discuss them here on The Unspoken Tears, the second Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We also co-host a show with the All Bengal Men's Forum, which discuss topics of South Asian men. That where each month different countries will bring a topic of interest to their region. And so this takes place the third Sunday of every month from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So please join us for the South Asian Men Show. And then we turn all of our content into podcast episodes. So please look for us on your favorite platforms, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, and more. We also host some support groups here in Voice of Men 360. The first of which is a men group for men only. Please join us, men. It's so we can be comfortable discussing issues that should only be discussed in the company of men. So that is every 2 weeks, Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. That is the Open Up Men's Peer Group. So please join us for that. The next one will be Tuesday, November 2nd, 6 p.m. Please register through Zoom. We also have an Indigenous peer-to-peer support group. We call this one Pass the Talking Stick. It's the fourth Friday of every month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. through Zoom. Again, there are no limitations with gender, age, or nationality. All walks of life are invited to participate in our programming. If you want to be a guest on any of our shows or are willing to be a part of our organization to help us, whether directly or indirectly, please reach out. We'd love to work with individuals, professionals, experts, community organizations, associations, corporations, government officials, and more. Please contact us at 437-889-8329. Email us info@voiceofmen360.org, which makes our website www.voiceofmen360.org. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on YouTube. And we are on Facebook.com/groups/voiceofmen360. Don't forget to share the message. We're running a special campaign to increase our membership and increase the voice by this International Men's Day, November 19th, 2021. We want to increase our membership to 5,000 members. So please like and share and subscribe. Please share the Voice of Men 360 around the world. Again, we're looking to increase our membership to 5,000 members, and that increases the Voice of Men 360 around the world. Thank you for joining us today. We want to reach out to more people and help more. Please continue your support. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, I'm the Vice President of Voice of Men 360 and your host, asking you to open up.